That's a great question. And there are a lot of answers to that question. Uh, Destruction of higher education and academia and the public school system. Uh, Destruction of the rule of law at the federal level. I mean, if there are no smart people and there's no real rule of law anymore, then he controls everything. And with regard to the things that Elon Musk is doing, and this stuff cracks me up in a really dark, sick, twisted kind of way. I mean, Elon Musk has been talking about finding all of this fraud in government spending. He has not produced one single receipt or document or any piece of evidence whatsoever that he has actually uncovered any fraud. He's just canceling spending that he doesn't like. And granted, some of the programs that I see getting canceled, some of them seem kind of dumb. But I don't have any idea why some of these programs are there in the first place. I just don't know those things. That doesn't mean that if I read the title of a program and say that's dumb, that means that I'm right. It doesn't mean that if I read the title of a program and say that's dumb, that doesn't mean that that's fraud. And the question I've been asking the inbred mouth breathing fart huffing MAGA chuds for the last several days is, it's like, if Elon is finding all of this fraud and canceling all of this spending because it's fraud, then presumably he has documentation demonstrating that it's fraud. And presumably those documents would have people's names in them. They would have signatures. Why hasn't one single person been arrested and charged with fraud? Musk has been at this for 2 months. Donald Trump has his hand-picked Attorney General Pam Bondi, who apparently has refocused the entirety of the efforts of the Department of Justice to protect Elon Musk. Donald Trump has his hand-picked FBI director, Kash Patel, who looks like a bug-eyed possum. He controls all of federal law enforcement, and not one single person has been charged with fraud. But destroying education, destroying academia, destroying the rule of law, destroying the social safety net. They haven't destroyed Social Security. They've just fired everybody who makes it possible for people who are entitled to Social Security benefits to actually collect those benefits. They're firing 80,000 people at the VA. People who are in charge of making sure that veterans get the care that they are entitled to. They want the House Republicans in their current budget structure has zeroed out the budget for Medicaid. And they also want to do away with Medicare. So no education, no academia, no smart people, no federal rule of law, no Social Security, no VA, no Medicare, no Medicaid. The goal is, I believe, and it has multiple parts to it. Donald Trump wants to be a dictator. He wants to be an authoritarian ruler like Viktor Orban in Hungary. He wants to control education. He wants to control as much of the media as he can. He wants to control information. He wants to do away with all discretionary spending in the federal budget, along with Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, the VA, any spending in the federal budget that benefits the bottom 95% of the population. He wants old people to just get on with it and die. He wants sick people to just get on with it and die and stop being a drag on society. He wants poor people to just get on with it and die and stop being a drag on society. He wants the disabled people in the United States to just get on with it and die, crawl off into the woods and die and not be a burden to society. That's what he told his nephew, who has a profoundly disabled son. Donald Trump told his nephew that his nephew's profoundly disabled son should just crawl off into the woods and die so that he's no longer a burden to society. Every single person who Donald Trump views as being a burden to society should just die. The old, the sick, the poor, the disabled. Let alone what he's doing. Everything's a test balloon right now. He's shipping all of these people who were here legally to a prison in El Salvador because sooner or later he's going to start doing that with actual citizens just because they disagree with him. All of that is the plan.